Welcome back to the channel, you beautiful people of Hexaco. Joined today with a very special guest, Patrick, the co-director of THOS, T-H-O-S, for those that have lived under a rock for the last couple of weeks. The highest of stakes. Hex documentary, Hex expose is launching in theaters countrywide in the USA. That's the country I'm talking about. Selling out all across city to city. Already sold out in Chicago, sold out in Austin, Texas, Miami. They're looking into even more screenings at Regal Cinemas and a city near you. So check out The Highest of Stakes. Just Google it on, Google. You ever hear that thing? Or you can also, just go directly to the website. What is it? thehighestofstakes.com. Yes.
We made it nice and easy.
Yep. Figure out if they got a screening near you because you're not going to want to miss it. It's 3 weeks from now, August 4th and 5th. That's a Friday and a Saturday. Tickets for me were only $15, so pretty affordable. But yeah, guys, I've got the actual creators here today. The other one's on his way. So
the irony that the other one has a camera malfunction. Good thing that didn't happen when we were with Richard. But today camera malfunction. So he's restarting, but I'm here.
So we're waiting for Grant, but we got Patrick. So half of the crew. And Kinex is in the chat. Kinex, thank you for setting all this up. Let's just say what's up to everybody. We got a raid coming in from Maddie Allen's stream. Red Squirrel, hello. Kaiza, always in the chat. Just lives in the chat. Notorious SOG says Maddie paid me to come watch. I hope he paid you well. Let's see. Wookie, how's it going, everybody? Limon Ortega, what's going on? Wild SJ, welcome. And we're just gonna get started. We're gonna talk about the documentary. So look, Patrick, this is a documentary that all I've really seen is the original trailer, which I guess you would call the
Sizzle.
The Sizzle Reel, right?
Yep.
Is that an industry term?
It is because it's the sizzle, not the steak. Like it's an early sneak peek, which as you see now, it's much evolved, right? Like when you watch the trailer, there's a fraud investigator, there's a crypto professor. The sizzle was like general vision, whereas the trailer really brings you into like where the movie landed.
Right. And so I'm not gonna lie, like I've been in the Hex community for 2 years before this whole thing even launched. And then, the past 3 years, I've really been in it since 2017, before Hex was even an idea in Richard's mind. And yeah, when I saw that sizzle reel and when I saw the actual trailer itself, I got to say, man, I cringed pretty hard with the whole Richard Hart is God thing. And I'm trying to figure out.
So you do not believe that?
So maybe I'm one of the few, and I'm sure a lot less people believe that after the price goes down 90%, right? It's this weird Messiah complex. I think everybody is looking for, this authority figure to tell them what's right in crypto. And Richard Hart was right about almost everything, and has been right in crypto about almost everything. But I just have a hard time seeing him as like the almighty figure that was portrayed. And when the first words in the trailer were, Richard saying, "Hey, I got a big dick," it's my first impression was, yeah, I'm not going to be telling my parents about this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be telling people that, and like I'll tell all my friends and stuff that can probably handle it, but some people are just not going to get it. And so how do you think this documentary is going to be received if you had to speculate?
I think that as Grant and I approached this, and we had conversations with everybody in the movie, RG3, who's incredibly passionate, Richard himself, of the difference between a canvas and a mirror, right? And that we consider ourselves a little bit more of a mirror, where it's like a canvas you create, right? Like you can take things in and you can go, oh, he likes to talk about the size of his dick a lot. Well, like that's not really going to attract people. We're going to that's more of like, let's just make up a thing.
Right.
But we really consider ourselves like reflectors of what is. And the time that we got him, he was in an outrage phase. And so I think audiences are, they're going to see that for what it is. And people are going to land on both sides. There are going to be people like you that are like, cringe, that's too much. But there's so much also of the other side of why he is what he is and how he got there, that we leave it up to the audience to decide. Right. So like even somebody like you who cringes at some of those things, we would hope you're going to get a deeper understanding of where this is coming from and what it's about. Are you going to cringe less? No, but you're going to understand it a little bit more.
Right. And I'm aware of the whole outrage marketing thing. I was one of the few people out there defending Richard during that year of, the Gucci clown suits, the $11,000 outfits. I loved it. And because I knew there was a method to the madness, but yeah, it's It's, it's the Andrew Tate playbook. It's the Donald Trump playbook. It's, if you're going to a 10x bigger audience, but half the people hate you, well, you still essentially got 5x the people that loved you because you're polarizing, right? Grant, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I think that, we are a reflection of what was. We brought in members of the Mexican community and asked them the question, and who is Richard, right? And then that's what we got, man. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not, none of this is scripted. None of this was us, putting this on people. And as quickly as people were able to answer that question, I think in truth, Patrick and I were very jaw dropped. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Not, going into it, we weren't, that was not our expectation. Our expectation was not that would happen. I think that maybe we would anticipate that from one person, you know what I mean? Like there's that possibility of, someone fanboying in a way that, was, larger or hyperbolic, or was, a reflection of something that was bigger, deeper, or, even outrage. But man, that's what we discovered. And, so it's interesting, right?
I think it also brings up a bigger question, like, because I think a lot of people get stuck. They watch that and they go, like, they might be offended by somebody saying that. But to us, the bigger question is, what happens that causes somebody to answer, who is this man in one word? And that's truly what they believe deep down, that without thinking, that's what comes out. Like, that's an interesting exploration. That's the movie. How does that actually come to be that people identify, some, not all, right? Identify him in that way. It's a fascinating exploration.
Yeah, it's a social experiment of what happens when you make thousands of people millionaires. And, I include myself in that. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I do respect Richard. I hold him at the utmost level of respect, but still under that God status a little bit. And, it's caused me to be introspective too. I'm like, well, why am I even afraid to say that? Well, it's like, because you don't want to assign that level of importance to someone that's external, that's not you. You want to think that at the end of the day, you have the capacity to make your own decisions and guide yourself, and not look towards this. I've always had a problem with religion in general, but ideology, so to speak. And I sold myself on kind of the merits of the foundational project, the actual, what is HEX? What's the value proposition here? But it is pretty awesome to have a hype man like Richard too, to get behind and rally the troops, call out all the bullshit that goes on in crypto. And I just got to say how serendipitous, right? For both of you guys to have done all that filming at the peak of the euphoria phase and gotten all that footage. And I'm just so glad you're not still filming at this point. You know what I mean? Because and really, I think the synchronicity is going to work out where this movie is going to launch and the bull market's going to come back. And, the polarizing figure that people see, they're going to be like, oh, shit, I wonder if this was a scam. They're going to go check the price charts. And let's just pray to God that it's not at the all-time lows or the local lows still, because then they'll just be like, oh, yeah, I guess HEX was a scam.
When you say pray to God, do you mean pray to God or pray to Richard?
See, there, you caught me. You caught me. Hyperbole there. But, yeah, pray to Richard, of course, guys. Of course. Dude, I've literally got a picture of Richard in my apartment. It's like, who else has a mural of another man in their apartment? Like, not very many people.
I think you're providing your own counterpoint right now.
It's like we fear what we don't realize about ourselves, right? But yeah, guys. So all in all, I know this is going to be good, and just because I know that it's cringe, I know it was very much kind of by design, at least in Richard's mind, right? Trying to be this polarizing figure, and it's a spectacle. And I guess what was the most fun part? What was the most shocking part for you guys when you were filming and just seeing the daily life of kind of Richard and how he was?
I mean, for me, day one, like hanging out with Richard that close, you know what I mean? Like where you're texting and going and hanging out and having breakfast or whatever, like the shock and awe of the personality and everything, like it diminishes when you spend that much time with the guy. But day one was when I had suggested driving Brent's car for B-roll, and he just nonchalantly looked up and was like, no, let's just go. I'll just go buy my own. It's good content. And then proceeded to drop $300,000 in crypto the next day and buy it. So like, that was just like, to us, like we're coming from outside the crypto world, man. Like that kind of thing. Like people in our movies don't do that. Right. So that was like, whoa, we just stepped into a different world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you're at that level of I mean, he's rumored to be a billionaire. I would, if I had to guess, I'd say 9 digits at least. Who knows? I mean, when you mine Bitcoin at $2 or in that $2 to $30 range, and mining it for 25, I think he said he started mining Bitcoin at 25 cents a Bitcoin, right? So even before that $30 range, and then he bought the $30 top. You can imagine if this guy's got a couple 100,000 Bitcoin, he might be one of the biggest holders of all time, and it's fun. I mean, we don't want to speculate and dox people, but it's fun to think about, how much money someone could have. And if you have that much money and it just sits around all day, I could imagine just wanting to go on a little shopping spree every once in a while. But and I think it kind of speaks to human nature, right? Like, this is what a lot of people would do. A lot of people, like, that's the meme in crypto, right? It's all about the Lambo. It's all about the win Lambo, sir. And it's like he's like personifying the image of the stereotypical crypto success story, I suppose.
I heard he has a background in marketing and understands psychology. I wonder if that's synchronous or not.
Sure. Yeah, NLP as well, natural language processing, repetition, little verbal tricks to help get people stuck on, anchoring to certain stake until you make it, not your keys, not your coins, stuff like that. It's all very deliberate. He's a smart dude, right? So, Grant, I haven't really let you talk much, but you're looking good down there. Nice black background.
Thank you much. Thank you much. Yeah. In the studio today. Nothing but the best for you, my friend.
Yeah, awesome. Where are you guys going to be for the studio premiere? Is it going to be Austin?
Well, the official premiere, Grant, tell them about Miami on the 3rd, because people don't actually know what that is.
Yeah, so the official premiere is the evening that the cast and crew and the largest contributors to the film and are going to premiere this thing to the world, bring in some press, that kind of thing. And that's taking place in Miami on August 3rd. It's by invitation only. So it's a small room kind of a thing, but it's a big party. And so that's where you'll see the step and repeat and the red carpet and there's billboards down there and there are digital signage that greet you and bring you into that event the evening of. And so the August 3rd is the actual official premiere of the movie, the public premiere, the premiere that anyone can attend in any one of 40 markets across the United States of America is on the evening of the 4th. And not to want to exclude anyone and not, to make sure that we are reaching out and saying thank you to those who are interested in this story, then what's happening is the morning of the 4th, a very large number of the team, cast members, things of that nature are then dispersing into those 40 markets and will be hosting the premieres across the country on Friday evening. So myself, I'll be in the Dayton market on the evening of the 4th. I know Patrick goes to Los Angeles on the evening of the 4th. Caitlin's in New York. And so, that's what's happening in terms of everybody being able to be present and to celebrate this story with those who are able to join us on the evening of the 4th.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, that's going to be a huge event. Me and Big K are going to be up in Chicago. So, again, already sold it out. So can't really tell people to go buy tickets anymore. But
except that what's happening is that the more that we can demonstrate demand, they're adding additional screening. So I know that Chicago's a market that already a show's been added for Sunday.
Oh,
we can continue to demonstrate a future demand. They will continue to hold the movie over. Wow. So you could see where, this thing should grow beyond this community. This thing should, find its way into the offices all across America. And if it sufficiently resonates with people, then we'll hold it over and hold it over and hold it over and hold it over. So really what we're needing to do is to continue to encourage people to bring others who don't know this story to the story and go from there.
And this is part of why, we've actually done a theatrical release where you're buying a ticket as opposed to, say, four-walling, which is like an industry term for buying out theaters and letting people just go, right? We could buy theaters and have it be free, but that actually hurts everybody because with a theatrical release, you're actually reporting box office. So revenues reported. So if that grows enough, you can't stop ignoring it. right? Like from a news perspective, from a whatever, people start going, what the heck is this thing? You know what I mean? That people are going to see. So we can only hope that we can gain enough momentum. Even if we're at the bottom of the chart, we're on the chart. And at the top of that chart is Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. Like we are on the same chart. Now people start asking questions. What the heck is this documentary? What's going on? And you can see how that can create a tipping point.
Yeah, organic success, right? And Regal Cinemas wants to make money, right? And so they're not going to stop the showing. If they sold out 2 shows in a row, they'll probably do a double take. I mean, we know movie attendance in general has been down ever since COVID, right? Just because people are scared to go outside and all that stuff. So it's great. This is it's going to be such a fun event. I haven't even been to a movie theater in over a year, so it'll be awesome. And let's just see how many weekends we could keep this going, because that will trickle into the local newspaper, perhaps, or at least some kind of somebody will pick it up, right? Whether it's social media or not.
You've got a great question from Franklin that I don't know if you mind us taking.
Go ahead.
I think the idea of marketing to Hexicans and all of that, and whether that's a financial play is a very fair question. Ultimately, what we can say, and we I hope people can appreciate that we're still in the middle of everything, so we can't disclose too much at this stage. But there are other pathways that would be more financially better financial rewards for the team collectively involved that would have this movie seen by less people. And we unanimously as a group did not want to go that way because it was about how do we reach the most amount of people. And so this theatrical release is about working with Hexicans in the community to demonstrate demand to get a larger distribution marketing deal and reach more people, right? So we need Hexicans' help. And in this case, like, you do have to buy a ticket to help and invite your friends and everything else. But right now, the community and the interest is the way that we can really get people to pay attention in a much larger way to this movie.
Yeah. So I think you're thinking really big, right? Go ahead, Grant.
I'm looking left and right, and I'm inviting my friends and family, none of whom were Hexicans, right? So the thing that we're looking for Hexicans to do is to look left and right and invite friends and family as well, right? Many of whom could be Hexicans because, maybe you've already had conversations, and others have, been of like investment interest. But, what we're looking to do is to create, as much of an audience to those who have yet to be aware of the crypto space than to truly just want to preach to the choir here, as it relates to the community itself. So, this is the opportunity to have this thing no longer be, to use a community word, gate kept, right? Because there's a lot of risk when it comes to programming around the cryptocurrency space. No one wants to be the Tom Brady, right? Having attached themselves to FTX into something that then later gets exposed to be something that they felt was vetted and was safe and had all of the underpinnings of, something that had legitimacy to it. So as a result of that, there's just a lot of people who are saying, I'm staying away. And this is our way of making sure that we can't be ignored.
Yeah, I think it's more important to just get the name, get the messaging out there, rather than recoup short-term investment funds. I mean, I threw a couple grand in, so you're welcome, haters out there in the chat. Yeah, and I want this movie. I wanted it to be successful. I knew it was going to be polarizing as well, but I guess we'll think about that longer term, is what you're saying. Well, once this reaches a blossoming out effect and reaches a serious mass of people.
Yes, the biggest win that we could get collectively is this being the crypto film, right? Like there's not anybody across any of the team that is motivated in any way trying to make this the largest personal return for anyone's bags. It is 100%. How do we reach a tipping point where we can, get the zeitgeist and be the crypto movie? And we're, collectively all in on that goal. And so it takes creativity. Like, you can't just, slap somebody with a trailer and go, hey, look, it's really good, right? Like, when there's risk, and, as wild as this will sound, we have heard from some streamers, it's not salacious enough because he's not in jail and he's not dead. Like that does make it a challenge in the space. So again, right, us showing, screening sold out nationwide, it makes people pay attention and do a little bit more due diligence and potentially take the risk because of, we don't have to preach to the choir about how much fear, uncertainty, and doubt there is about the crypto space from the average American. That's what we've got to overcome times 100, because now you're like jobs on the line if you make the wrong bet.
Yeah. That brings up a random question of mine, though. But after all the chaos, right? After all the dust is settled, Mashinsky's in jail, right? FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, all the guys in suits and ties, the classic nerd, stereotypes of what people thought crypto would be. They messed up. They lost everyone's money. Is there any follow-up and then, the Gucci suit guy is the one that made everyone all the money, and he's still, running free out there, driving around Ferraris and whatnot. Is there any of that in, near the end of the movie? Did you have time to fit that in? Like how all these people that were the, golden boys of crypto ended up being the scammers, and the so-called scammer ended up being the hero?
So
to speak.
Richard was given the opportunity to speak to what he feels is that space, where we don't dive directly head on as it relates to that environment, but we address it in the film, right? It doesn't go ignored, but we're not able to do a deep dive, and we're not able to hand a WWE belt to any one cryptocurrency founder, as it were, right? Like, we're not able to make that award, as a story, because there is so much that remains to be seen, within this space. But you can rest assured that Richard does his best Muhammad Ali and points to everybody and talks about how he's going to, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably too late for suggestions at this point, but it'd be kind of cool if, like, the ending credits, you just like had like Do Kwon has currently been arrested for, $7 billion fraud, and, like how the follow-up stories and all that. But hey, that brings up another question, right? Miniseries or round 2 sequel. Is there any plans for that in your mind?
I think the big thing for everybody to get is that you need change. Like, story is about change. It's about growth. And so one, we have to see how this goes, right? Like, where does the theatrical screening lead? We absolutely want to have this internationally streaming by the end of the year. And then it's about the reception, but then it's about what happens. Like, right now, not a lot's happening with the dude. Right now, it's not just him. There's RG3, there's Mikey, there's Rami, like there's Big K. And so, like, what happens? So I would say that we're monitoring it, and we're, definitely being aware of everything that everybody's doing. We got to land a touchdown with this one first. And then it's about, is there enough there to keep going? But we wouldn't just do it to do it.
Yep. That makes total sense. I don't know if this question's a joke or not, but screening in the metaverse.
I mean, is that not kind of related to streaming? I mean, I guess there would be an added experience to how you would interact inside of it. I don't know that that's going to help us reach more no-coiners and bring more people into the space. I think it's going to alienate most people.
Only available to Apple mask wearers. Maybe not. Hey, interesting idea. Hey, I know we got a bunch of guys in London and Australia and Ireland and a lot of English-speaking countries. What about them?
We want to get to them, baby. Like, this is not us saying, that our desire is only to have this thing released domestically. This is the first step. And, Patrick mentioned, and it's always been our desire to encourage Regal to consider their larger international parent company. And if we can sufficiently, demonstrate enough demand, the possibility of international theatrical release exists, right? But we have committed ourselves to the idea that this thing will release for our international friends before the end of the year, that we are going to find a way to make sure that they have access to this film prior to that.
And if I can amp that up a little bit more, what Grant's saying is, because of the initial response, there are conversations by Regal, do they make this international? What that decision becomes probably depends on the next leg. Like, are we able to continue on this trajectory, or did, the Hexian community just buy and now it fizzles out? And so they're like, well, we shouldn't expand. We should hold on where we're at. But this is why we're like, hunting for premiere hosts, why we're trying to really do all we can to promote people to get out and invite everybody, because these are the kinds of conversations about how do we then go internationally and keep making this bigger. But we have to see, Regal would need to see that demand is continuing.
Cool. So let's pump those numbers up, baby. JB House of Stark wants to know about my Botox. Sir, I have never taken Botox in my life. What you're looking at, these beautiful, luscious lips that you're seeing are from very expensive DNA repair longevity pills, my good friend. Some people have a crush on me. It's okay. Money Gang says, LOL, Brighton. Dota says, what metaverse? Yeah, the metaverse we're living in right now, bro. It's all a simulation. Hey, Maddie, how's it going? The highest of stakes 2 bull market. I mean, are you guys familiar with the Helgo meme at all? No, this was a meme from the early Hex days. There was a guy named Helgo in the Telegram chat, always spoke in broken English, always asked the most ridiculous questions, so much so that nobody was actually sure if he was a real person or not. And so, everyone's kind of become like Helgo, in their own way. Mm-hmm. And that's just, there's even a Helgo coin now. It's ridiculous.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So many little meta memes that you just, people have no idea in the Hex community. Franklin says, let me translate for y'all in Hexakin. Y'all better show up to this movie or y'all ain't getting my sequel. Lol. Yeah.
Thank you, Franklin. Appreciate that.
Thank you for saying it so bluntly, sir. I'd probably go if there was theater near me. Can't wait to get some merch. Okay. All right. Johnny Chaos is lurking. Hello, sir. Australia is huge for Hexagons. Yes, it is. Just buy up the tickets and give them out. Well, now that I know that there's another day in Chicago, now that I know there's a Sunday, I might just scoop up like 4 or 5 tickets on Sunday.
400 to 500, did you say?
4
You're just going to add a whole week to Chicago by yourself? That is leading the community.
So you know what? If that was possible to do, I would seriously consider.
Of course it is. Of course it is. We can put you in touch with group sales. You can buy out a week and you can be the leading city for sure. We can make that happen. I'm not trying to put you on the spot and commit you to anything.
How many seats are there?
Like, this is all possible if anybody, wanted to. Now, again, what we want to remind people of is empty theaters don't help. Right. Like just buying up tickets, because really the momentum happens when people go and then they tell everybody you've got to go. Like, love it or hate it, right? Like, if you're talking about it now, you've got to see this, and it's a limited run. It's now timely. Like, that's really where we win. So,
yeah, for sure. That's
a big proponent of the idea that the perceived value of free is very, very little. So the idea that somebody would make the investment for a ticket for themselves is more meaningful. Or if you gift it to a friend or family member that actually knows you and genuinely says thank you and would want to come be a part of it.
Or a club, like bigger groups, like find other crypto clubs and meetups and be like, everybody.
Yeah.
Here's 120 people, like, y'all come. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing where I see a lot of other crypto communities would want to come see this video is because Hex has a lot of haters, and that includes, the Shiba community, the Chainlink community, all these other cryptos would want to go to the premiere probably just to, try to dunk on Hex, to try to get a good laugh out of it. Right. So, I mean, invite all those people. I'm going to invite some of my friends, pretty much everybody besides my mother that I know. And we'll see how many people actually want to show up. But definitely got 2 tickets on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And I noticed that literally the theater was full other than that. So, maybe
I think
Sunday.
It doesn't matter what crypto community you belong to. If crypto awareness as a whole rises, everybody wins. Like, that's the bigger picture, right? Like, some people will be into this coin and this man, but like the broader thing is that he's a vehicle into the space. And if more people come into the space, they're going to then decide what they want to do. But what we need is people to actually get what's happening here, like in the world and as it relates to the world of money and crypto. And like, that to me is the invitation, right? Like, it's not just about dunking on Hex. Like, there is a bigger picture here.
Yeah. Getting into those Facebook groups, those, and I'm not even on Facebook, right? But there's all kinds of different crypto meetups out there. There's even an app called Meetup. You could go to some of these things IRL. Believe it or not, guys, you can do stuff in real life. It's crazy. I know. You could leave the basement. OMG, Crypty Girl. Can I get your audio? Oh, Crypty Girl is here. Hey, what's up, Crypty Girl? This will be an epic story for the public to watch. Yeah. Do you guys know Crypty Girl? You got a chance to talk to her? She was
in the Sizzle Reel.
Yeah, exactly.
She was a huge supporter. Her and Nerd came on very early on and helped us kind of get a sense of what the heck was going on in this whole space. That ended up, leading to the actual movie getting made.
Cool. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not allowed to yet, and that's probably good. But what's the most Can you tip me off on the most outrageous scene in the whole movie? Give me a little hint. Anything? Anything?
I mean, that's spoilers, right?
Okay.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, never mind.
But no. Just like, tempering that. But all right, Pete, what you got?
Well, what I would say is what you've seen in the trailer isn't it. So a guy putting his life savings into HEX, y'all know where the market is now, and then telling his wife on camera, and like in the movie, dude stumbles through it. Like it takes him a while. He's like, well, I'll put a couple thousand in. Like he doesn't just come out with it. That's in the trailer, and that's not the biggest thing. Because as filmmakers, we're big proponents of, you know what I mean? Like making sure that you don't feel let down after you watch a trailer. So, that's got a lot of heat, and we got more coming when you see the full film.
Nice. Someone wants to know, am I in the movie? Only for 10 glorious seconds, sir. At least that was the NDA I signed. Assuming you guys are telling the truth. Nah, you seem pretty trustworthy. Let's see. What else? Somebody mentioned another movie and how this movie is going to kick that movie's ass. It was called King of Stonks. They said that documentary was weak, and this is way better. So I've never heard of that one.
If you checked out, Trust No One, there's a couple different crypto films that I don't think we're going to subjectively talk about our opinions on. We'll say that they're a fundamentally different approach than like we are trying to make this high octane entertaining that also at the end of it, you're like, oh, wow. Like I learned something about crypto. Like this is wild. We are very different than any other, most documentaries and certainly anything related to the financial or the crypto space.
Yeah, people want the story, and you guys are called literally muse storytelling. And I think you do an excellent job of portraying a whole character arc, hero, villain. No one's in it for the tech as much as they want to be. No one just comes, oh, blockchain, Byzantine fault tolerance. Cool. No, they want cringe. They want some, people getting rich, Lambos, parties. Patrick and Grant, it's great to hear your thoughts on what went into the PulseChain production, or to the production of all this.
I think that's a Freudian
you can hear what's on my mind right now. Yeah.
Everything I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me. He sees PulseChain in everything.
It's bad, guys. I eat, sleep, and breathe crypto. Let's see. Funny how RH is the only person buying expensive things. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think a lot of people are scared at the bottom of a bull market to flex the stuff they bought because there's a lot of haters online saying you're the reason that the price is down, right? When really it's just a million plebs selling $50 is kind of the same thing as one guy that bought a Lambo at the top.
And you're going to see, big K's on a private jet in the movie. RG3's processing, I think I can say this. Yes, he's putting in a large pool.
Yeah.
Like more than most people's homes. You know what I mean? So like there are big things that other people in this story are doing that is not just Richard, which is by design because it's not fair to paint a picture where he's the only one off doing these things, right? As y'all know, a lot of people have done well in this community.
Yeah. I saw Rackham Rishel with his very expensive car. Not a car guy, but yeah, and people hate them. People hate all those people for having those nice things until they get crypto rich, and then they want to buy them too, right? Funny. Let's see, Grant. I feel like you've been quiet, and I want to get some more of your genius. What did you kind of learn as you were making this movie? How did this change you as a producer?
I would say that I've never personally sacrificed for a project on this level. I had earned status before the middle of March in 1 year, meaning flight status. I had flown so much inside of 2.5 months that I'd already earned the status that, I had never earned in a full year prior to that. So the amount of time, energy, and effort that we've put into this is unmatched on any other project. And then within that, then it's, continually raised my awareness in the power of investment. I've always heard of that. I've always, been a proponent of, to quote the rich dad idea of getting into the, B&I quadrants and had never really understood the difference between being a business owner and an investor in just the orders of magnitude of difference. And so, I'm wanting to continue to be a student of finance and of money in order to have that affect my life more dramatically, and then more specifically to affect the lives of my boys. And
That's awesome.
And what can happen there. So, both of those things have changed me as a result of this project.
It's so crazy to me that, the guys that did you have any crypto experience, either of you, before making the movie?
He still can't figure out how to stake, to be honest.
I'll help you in the green screen after this.
We did learn during the production,
good.
like we were that much of newbies that we really did not know, and had to figure it out, because like we're talking about it, we're interviewing somebody who's kind of smart and Richard on this, and we know that we give him layup questions like he's bored and he's out. Like we've got to engage and be challenging and whatever. So yeah, we learned while making the movie.
Yeah, how awesome is that, guys in the chat? Like the producers of the movie got sucked into the crypto vortex unintentionally because it's just that powerful, right?
We took a course by MIT. Like that level of like, we actually bought an MIT course, and like, cause we, you really got to get it to have a debate, but then to make it simple, like, cause you have the debate up here and people's heads spinning, they don't get it in terms of no coiners. You got to fundamentally deeply get it to then bring it down. So an 8th grader has some sense of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. My course is a whole lesson on just terminology, right? Like what is a whale? What is getting wrecked? Like why do we always talk about the moon? Like, what does that all mean? Like really basic stuff, but it's like a different language, just like finance too. Finance gatekeeps everyone else, the plebs, just kind of like crypto does, but we're making our own little financial ecosystem over here. We just got better memes. So wonder how no coiners are responding to the highest of stakes. Yeah. Have you guys seen anybody responding to this that's not in the crypto community?
Yeah, in our screenings. We've screened privately with different groups as focus groups, and we've intentionally brought it to no coiners. And it's polarizing, which is great, but there's a lot of like, I got to figure this out more broadly, right? But like, we had one person shouting out the HEX price in the theater. Remember that, Grant? We're like just because like they had no idea, and they're like, wait, whoa, no, not good timing because it was not doing well. But it says like it's engaged them that much. Like, when's the last time you left a movie and you're immediately trying to learn more about what's happening?
It's incredible. Yeah, good on you for doing a focus group, right? That's real user research.
Many focus groups, many revisions, many edits. I don't. I think people are like, why is it not out yet? It's like, because we're on revision 142 and we're testing to make sure that everything's actually landing and that comprehension is high and we're not losing people like over and over and over and over.
How much sleep did you get during this whole process? What was your average hours per night?
Oh, I mean, when you're on production, you do what you got to do. And you got a guy who, doesn't sleep regular hours, yet we've got to prep. So if you're on 2 hours, you're on 2 hours like that. And if that doesn't work, then this is not the right game for you.
Yeah, for sure. I see Grant's got, what is that? A Monster Energy there?
Oh yeah, baby. Looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And you know what? We could tell you the fastest way to chill a Monster Energy in an emergency. So you got to go on no sleep, wrap it in a cold towel, freezer, or ice bucket, 8 minutes, and you can be good to go. Like, these are the things we learned on this movie.
Yeah, you can roll it around on the ice, right? Kind of get all the surface area. Yeah. Nice. Well, Crypty Girl, in one vid, she says they gave her 10 million HEX and another 15 million, and she stakes 15 years. What a lie. What a lie. I don't think that's a lie at all, bro. Who are you?
I heard this stuff was transparent. You could just look it up.
Yeah, you could just go look at the address.
Yeah.
Crypto Artie says, I got my friends interested in seeing the movie and aren't for crypto. How about them apples? That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I can see my friends about my own age probably would be interested. Yeah. I just keep thinking back to my parents, man. I'm like, I'd rather they just sit this one out.
Did your parents watch Tiger King?
Yeah, I don't think they can handle a conscience. Like, they're too normy, dude. Like,
so they don't, no mainstream like hits like that.
I think
that were out there.
King. So you're comparing this to the level of Tiger King. That's good. That's bullish for me.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. I mean, we don't have as quite of a murder twist as Carol Baskin did, in that kind of thing. But like, if they can handle Tiger King, you know, I think I don't think that they're going to struggle with this if they can handle this. I think your problem is that you don't want them to see your world differently, right? Like it's your space, and now they might see you and your world differently. It's not that they can't handle it.
They already think I'm just like up to no good. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. Whatever. Getting too personal right now. But.
I think this. I have my mom and dad coming with me as a part of the premiere. I'm also bringing my boys.
Okay.
So like, you know, now the sensitivity of kids and the way that I've raised my sons is probably very different than others. You know what I mean? Like we talk about personal responsibility, and, you know, just because you're exposed to an idea that, you know, you have to bring your own thought to it doesn't mean that you mirror that behavior. You know what I mean? Like all of those kinds of things or whatever. So, just to share with you in terms of where I am on it. Now, I would treat it as a rated R movie.
Rated R
movie, but I would treat it as a rated R movie.
Okay, because I heard PG-13. So I mean, obviously swearing. When I brought up nudity, there was a long pause.
No,
there's no. I mean,
it's a vocabulary thing.
Okay,
it's definitely a vocabulary and thematic idea. It's not, you know,
a tasteful side boob. Perhaps
we call it visuals.
You're definitely like nudity's not really a thing. No. That got cut out of the movie. Like anything that you know, we didn't want to emotionally manipulate or sensationalize where it wasn't relevant.
Yeah.
Right. Which you can totally do inside of this space. Like there's crazy shit that happens, and you could just put it in because it's going to make it a spectacle. We wanted to make sure that everything was relevant to the story. And so I don't think there's anything close to nudity, really. I mean, you see in the trailer that there's, you know, women dressed how they're dressed, and that's as close as you're going to get in the movie.
Okay, well, good. I was just hoping the Red Bull can wouldn't become a visual, you know what I mean? But anyway.
You're hoping it was not? You don't want the answer to that question and whether or not the rumors are true?
Yeah, I can live without it. So I'd be okay dying without knowing certain things. Cryptic Girl's here to defend herself. 3 million hex. Yeah, only 3 million hex. Little Mr. Bully over in the chat. 3 million hex from Benevolent Ski Cat staked. All staked. Okay, cool. Now that we got that cleared away. Any aspirations for TIFF or Canes Awards? I don't even know what those are.
Those would be film festivals, and at the moment we're really concentrated on the theatrical release and then getting it out to as many eyeballs as possible. So,
and the community wouldn't forgive us. I mean, like doing the festival run is another 12 to 18 months. Like you submit and you wait and you know what I mean? So now that we're out doing theatrical, like we've committed to that path and we've got to move.
Yeah. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but even doing these screenings in a theater qualifies you for those kinds of awards, right? And that's why another reason why you chose that path.
I wouldn't say that the award, we're not thinking in terms of awards.
Okay.
Right. Like that's not the priority here. And so, you know, if we become eligible and if we backdoor into something or whatever, fantastic. We think that it holds a quality, a production value, a storytelling quality that, you know, we've produced this with every desire to make as strong a damn piece as we possibly can. It's custom scored. It's gorgeous. It's the kind of thing that's going to shake your rib cage when you're sitting there and watching it theatrically. It's going to create goosebumps for you. There may be times when you want to scream at the screen. Like those are the metrics by which we are measuring the success and failure of this film, not by somebody else's subjective value in the art and worthiness of the piece.
And I would just add to that it's about the ultimate goal. Like the ultimate goal is reaching how many people we can and really raising broader crypto awareness. Awards are actually just one path, and they're a little bit of an archaic path to distribution. Like the traditional path is getting into a film festival, winning an award as a way of then getting other people to pay attention, pick you up, whatever else, right? We're kind of going and trying to do something that very few documentaries can do. But it's what I want to make sure people get is it's all about reaching that broader goal. You know, to some people, they just want an award because they want an award. Like Grant said, that's not us. We much more want the movie to make a difference versus having I don't even know where these Emmys are. Like apparently there's a handful of them. Like honestly, I had a friend over once and one was hidden with my soup cans. Like I was like, oh shit, is that where I left it? Like once you get it, it's a paper opener.
Yeah.
Like that's not what this is about.
Yeah, that's awesome because yeah, you guys have won awards. So I guess speaking from experience, would you say it was a bit anticlimactic then? Or
I mean, no, it was getting called up on the Emmy stage and then like no, that was not anticlimactic. That was pretty damn epic. And then going through the airport with Emmys in your hand because you get to walk with one that night, but you're not going to check it, right? Like who's going to check an award like that? Yet the thing's really sharp. And so like I'm like literally putting it in the bin through security.
Okay, wow.
And all like everybody's paying attention and you're just like, oh shit, like this is not. So I strapped it into the seat next to me because they wouldn't let me put it on the overhead bin. And I'm like, yeah. So wild ride home, but more that experience than the actual award itself.
Okay, great. So you guys are kind of maybe that was the wrong word, but been there, done that, right? You're going for eyeballs and you're going for making people feel something in order to get those eyeballs and just really telling a great story, making an awesome, badass movie. Not necessarily thinking about Sundance first or whatever TIFF first. So
100%. We hold ourselves accountable to whether or not this thing matters and moves the needle on the space as a whole. Like that's a far bigger thing that lasts far longer than a piece of hardware.
Awesome. What'd you guys win the award for, if you don't mind me asking?
A couple different things, but one of them was called A Game of Honor, and it was a Army-Navy football documentary. We won several Emmys for that, including Best Sports Documentary of the Year, and that's a national award. Like that's a legit, primetime award. So A Game of Honor, you can look it up, and we were both producing and DPing that documentary. So CBS Showtime. Yeah, you can check it out.
Awesome. That's great, dude. I I love that you guys have had so much experience already, and it just makes me that much more confident. Where do I find a list of cities to see it? Just go click on the link in my description below. I link you right to the screenings page on thehighestofstakes.com.
And we updated that this morning to help, when it's sold out, going to the broader page. And so you can see we're continuing to keep that up to date. Unfortunately, Regal's website is not, let's just say it's a little hard to find out when something's sold out. So we updated that this morning. We'll keep it updated so that people can see as things are added or as they sell out.
Awesome. When quadricopter, I'm not sure I understand how that's relevant. Lots of love.
We only did 2 in the first movie, so now when are we going to do 4?
Oh, for filming,
I mean, maybe I don't know.
Drones. Cool, man. Go Army, beat Navy. Yeah, I have not heard of that documentary, but maybe I'll check it out. It's about football, or is it about the Navy, or both?
It follows Army and Navy cadets who are in their last year of school playing the Army-Navy football game. It's a rivalry that's gone on forever, and so it follows characters on both sides. But the Army and Navy gave us full access to the first year recruits. So we're on the firing range as they're learning what they're doing. We're on Afghan training missions in the middle of the forest, an area that's blurred out by Google Maps, trying to tell the story. Yet there's no call sheet, there's no producer, there's no craft services or lunch. You're just trying to keep up and figure this out. So it's just a wild story of what it would be like to be, a first year recruit in the Army Navy and then playing towards this game that ultimately kind of doesn't really matter because you're not going to go on to be a professional athlete. You're in the Army and Navy. So it follows that emotional arc and then through also the parents' eyes too. And I mean, we got damn lucky with some really amazing characters in that story, which is part of why it ends up winning a bunch of awards.
Yeah. And so sorry for underestimating not just 1 or 2 awards, but 5-time Emmy award-winning production company, guys. That's what you're seeing right now. That's who's on the screen before you. That will take the time to stream and communicate directly with them. Oh, how many other communities have access to a 5-time award-winning production company? Yeah, none that I know. A lot of times it's amateur hour up there for the crypto documentaries, at least. So,
yeah, I mean, you look at what is it? A wall. What is the Ethereum one? The Ethereum documentary raised a shit ton of money and got into production really quickly. And yet you look at a lot of the stuff and there's not a lot of story. Now, have not seen it, don't know the people behind it, certainly not trying to jump to conclusions. But I mean, Richard Hart's a character. So regardless of what we bring story, but like we found the space's best character to tell the story. And that's what nobody can compete with. Even if you can get 5-time story Emmy or blah, 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 like the character is just off the charts.
Yep. Yeah, truly a character. So before we wrap up here, what do you want to tell to the people that you haven't already said? Is it just promotion, go see the movie? Are there any final thoughts?
I would share that I feel like right now, you know, a lot of the focus is on the weekend of the 4th and 5th. But in truth, we really need to be thinking of that as like the starting line, right? As like the gun just going off, and that the opportunity is all of the subsequent days and weekends after that, around, you know, getting people to see this thing, react to it, and then, you know, we're really hopeful that it resonates and you know, compels people to say, you've got to come see more, you've got to come see more. So, you know, let's fill up the seats that exist currently, and then, you know, wanting to demonstrate that this thing is strong enough that we need to find more empty seats, that we need to create more screenings, that we need to hold this thing over, that this thing, you know, needs to go beyond this community. So that would be the thing that I would encourage everybody to be considering is, you know, bringing friends and family that are outside of the space so that when they come on the 4th and 5th, they will share it with others that are outside of the community. And therefore, you know, we can create additional screenings from there.
Yeah, I think this documentary has as good of a shot, better shot than any other in the niche of crypto at really punching above the whole crypto sphere in general. So I think it's going to create that blossoming out effect. It is on every individual to, you know, take that and go tell your friends, family, whatever. So now I've been promoting it on Twitter and YouTube. I'm going to be telling my close friends in real life. But it is really on each of us, and it really can punch outwards and probably spill over to all kinds of new audiences. Whether people love it or hate it or not, we've got a conspiracy theorist in the chat. You guys don't look like Illuminati members to me, but they want to know. There's always these conspiracies with Hollywood and stuff, and I don't even think you're really Hollywood types, or you don't even live in Hollywood. But
No.
The Richard Hart Freemason symbolism, that's just not even a thing, right? We should just ignore that.
We can keep moving.
Yeah. I don't think they would want us to talk about that, you know. Let's see. Illuminati confirmed. Okay, guys, the quality of the chat is deteriorating quickly, so I'm gonna let these guys go. Thank you so much for coming on, and look, any final words, or should we wrap it up?
Let's go big. I mean, we get one shot to launch this thing. And so, you know, it starts with one or two friends, but like we said to you, buy out your theater, buy out a week. Like let's think about larger groups. How do we reach 100 people? Where can we, and let's think beyond just HEX. You don't have to be pro or against HEX. You can see an amazing, entertaining movie in the theater, right? Like we need to go beyond just this space and really reach people who just want to see a badass film. It's a good night out. Like, that's far more compelling and reaches way more people.
The drinks conversation after this movie is going to be off the chain.
There you go. Like, that is worth way more than $15.
That's I mean, I'm telling you what, man, that 90 minutes to 4 hours, depending on who you are as a person, like in the bar after this movie, talking with friends and family, is going to be some of the best, like incredibly rich and rewarding conversation that you've had with people in a long time. I promise you, you're going to be like that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Nice. It's going to change people's worldview. It's going to be, what is money? What is reality? Like what is believing in something?
There we go. There we go. Yes.
I promise you're going to learn so much about your friends and family because they're going to reveal themselves and what they think about this in the end. Oh,
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, it seems like a scam. Oh, well, how's the US dollar any different? You know?
So good.
Cool, guys. Cool. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for all the hard work you guys have been doing. I think it's all going to be well worth it. And I couldn't be more excited. All 360 of you guys watching, thanks for coming. Tell your friends, tell your family. Optionally, tell your mom if she can handle it. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Thanks.